You slept with her?
I didn't.
Good, cause she got AIDS. She'll go... Hey, yo! The movie begins with a little kid named Cameron Cade watching a football game of his idol Isaiah White as his dad be brainwashing the kid to love football. And after Isaiah goes down with what looks like a career-ending injury, Cam's dad's just like, look at that shit, that's what you gotta do if you wanna win. Am I brainwashing you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm him. I'm trans.
I swear nobody uses the words I'm him anymore. Like, I don't hear it. So I think it's dumb to name a movie after like a trendy lingo. Like, imagine you name a movie 6'7". By the time you make it, produce it, promote it, nobody's going to be using the words 6'7" anymore, so you're just going to look dumb and outdated.
Then many years later, not only does Isaiah recover from his injury, but also becomes the undisputed GOAT, winning the championship 8 times and plans to retire, while Cam is the #1 prospect preparing for the draft and his daddy unfortunately passed away.
What will you do when you become rich?
I'll get drugs and hoes.
Will you be the next GOAT?
I am the GOAT. And to anyone who's not into sports, GOAT just literally means greatest of all time. And one day while he's training, he starts seeing something strange. He sees a football that magically keeps on spinning and goes, what the hell? Stops it, then is attacked by some dude and gets a career-threatening injury.
Well, that is just ridiculous.
It's a big-ass field, dude's a quarterback with peak athleticism, and you're telling me he couldn't even sense a dude in a GOAT costume walking up to him? So now he suffers from brain trauma that could take years to fully recover, as the doctor says he risks permanent brain damage each time he enters the field, as the doctor warns him not to enter the combine. Oh, and that's his girlfriend, by the way, which is pretty important information for later on. Now, Cam plans to attend the draft combine anyway, and his dumbass friend decides to give him a haircut on the day of the combine when he sustained a head injury.
Oh, owie.
And you wanna know what's dumb? He doesn't even have much hair. Like, get a haircut where?
Where?
And plus, even if he didn't get injured, everyone knows the rule, like as a guy, that you don't get a haircut on the day of the event. You get it like at least a couple days before.
So thanks to his friend, Cam can't do the combine, which hurts his draft stock, and now he risks going undrafted.
Our network thinks he's overrated.
Well, you a hoe. Next question. Then Cam is approached by some weird-ass dude who paints himself red in a Mexican hat. And he's totally unaffected by the weirdo as he drinks, smokes, and parties. And I guess the film is saying a lot of athletes are like this, that on their way to the top comes with a lot of distractions. But then Cam's agent hits him up and says Isaiah, his idol, wants to train him for a week, and if it goes well, he's guaranteed a contract with the San Antonio Saviors. So he obviously agrees, and on his way to see his idol, he gets the jump scare.
I'm horny.
Damn, so we got a Joaquin Phoenix wannabe and a Walmart Harley Quinn. And she gives the huck to and goes, ah. So Cam meets more weirdos and is in the middle of nowhere, then sees Isaiah's championship rings and meets his idol in person.
Come on, man.
Then seeing a bunch of dead animals, Cam asks if he killed it himself, then dude avoids the question and gives some history lesson about Native Americans playing football against Caucasians, and despite the Native Americans trying hard to perfect their craft, they were outsized and now they're mascots. And he uses this boring ass story to tell Cam, don't be a mascot.
Like, how about just say, don't be a mascot and don't be a loser? Like, instead of wasting everyone's time yapping about some story nobody cares about.
Then Isaiah takes Cam's phone and says no gooning, then tells him to hammer a nail, which, by the way, if this goes wrong, it could break his hand and now he really can't play football, but
whatever.
Now, Isaiah says this is a mini boot camp, so go out there and have fun, as day one seems like pretty standard training until we meet Isaiah's sports doctor who tells him to get naked and strip. So he gets butt-ass naked to be measured, which is super unnecessary, by the way. Like, what are you gonna do, measure his dick size? And plus, they only got his weight and wingspan anyway, so dude didn't even have to go full nude. And what's dumb is that they then gaslight him going, why'd you get naked? We never told you to get naked, then leaves.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, day one was definitely the most boring part of the film, for sure.
Then we're introduced to Isaiah's girlfriend, White Eyebrows, who promotes adult toys, telling her viewers to put it in their butthole, and gets super friendly with Cam, telling him to put it in his butt too, as both girls get flirty, even though that's Isaiah's girl, and Cam is also taken.
So I'm guessing the film's trying to say that pro athletes have to deal with a lot of temptation?
Anyway, Cam does an ice bath while Isaiah does some dodgy shit with his blood to get more oxygen in his system, which is illegal. Then the doctor injects some unknown shit inside Cam, despite Cam not wanting to. Then the lights turn off and the film tries to make some suspense, but we get a whole bunch of nothing.
Basically, day one was just a whole bunch of nothing, boring ass scenes, and just a shitty plot overall. This film is dumb.
But I will admit day 2 is a lot more interesting, and maybe it's the unknown injection, cause bro vomits and is hella fatigued and starts seeing a red mascot show up and stabs him,
But it was the hallucination.
so I'm guessing that's a metaphor for Cam being in danger and that he could get killed. Anyway, later when Cam has to do catching drills, Isaiah gives him a kiss,
Cause he gay.
then Cam gets injected with God knows what again, and after a few light passing drills, Isaiah asks for a volunteer this time, and Cam doesn't think much of it until he misses a pass, then this happens.
Shh.
So Cam's confused, then fumbles the ball, and the volunteer gets hit again with blood pouring out everywhere. Then Isaiah's like, this is all your fault, look what you're doing to him. So Cam decides to lock in, but whether it was intentional or not, these dudes can't catch for shit. Why can't you catch? Why your daddy dead? Then Isaiah makes it clear the quarterback gets all the credit if they win and all the blame if they lose, so he tells him to lock in. Now maybe it's because of movies like White Chicks and Little Man, but I just can't take this dude seriously, bro. Like, he's always been such a comedian character to me. Anyway, Cam completes the catch drill successfully, and when he checks on the volunteer, dude just goes,
와, 이 새끼 미쳤나?
and like a cult member, he starts thanking Isaiah for the opportunity like it's an honor to be of service. Now, these dudes were labeled as free agents.
So I interpreted this scene as that there are players out there that would do anything it takes to just try to get an opportunity to get into the league. And it also shows how much power a superstar like Isaiah has.
Like, dude has so much power, he tells Cam and the free agents to do whatever he wants them to do. And cause everyone acts like this is totally normal, Cam is hella confused but just goes with it like a
Good boy.
And when he asks Isaiah if the NPCs are gonna be alright, he goes, who cares? People say God, family, football, but I say football, family, then God. As he tries to make the point to be the best, football needs to be your everything and has to be above everything else in your life. Then Cam hallucinates a little bit more and we're introduced to day 3. Now, this day was crazy, so what's meant to be a light practice, the NPCs are literally trying to injure Cam and break open his skull, which is a dick move as he's literally coughing up blood. Then Isaiah calls him weak, soft, and that he's not built for this, that he ain't shit, and makes fun of his dead dad to hype him up.
What will you sacrifice? Everything.
Then on the very next play, we get a full-on head-to-head collision, and my goodness, dude's on the floor paralyzed while the other talks trash saying dead body alert. Now, fortunately, it wasn't Cam that was injured, but damn, this NPC is cooked for life. Then Isaiah reacts to it like Cam did the best thing ever and says he's proud of him.
Which, not gonna lie, he should be, by the way, because if he doesn't, then he looks like the biggest hypocrite ever because he was ranting about how you need to do whatever it takes and anything and everything to try and win.
And while this dude's gonna be on permanent life support, nobody helps him up and they just start singing and celebrating, acting like he ain't there. That's very weird, but okay. Then later we get this shot, which I thought was pretty smart, of Cam getting suffocated by a mascot while the sports commentators are laughing. Now, this is obviously a hallucination, but I interpreted it as once you're in the public eye as a sports star, it can feel suffocating and hard to live while you're constantly judged by others. And later, the sports doctor tells Cam he has no other life than this and killed for this job. Then says it's a shame you're so talented and how well I prepared you. And when Cam asks to explain what he meant, bro just hands him more drugs and walks away.
Meanwhile,
Walmart Harley Quinn just be stalking Cam and is pissed while Isaiah keeps yapping about how football is everything and how he'll miss the game and the sacrifice it takes to win. Then once the yap session is over and Cam starts chilling, Walmart Harley Quinn shows up to kill him. But luckily Cam dodges the attack and chokes her unconscious.
just how she likes it.
And turns out Harley Quinn wannabe is a die-hard Isaiah fan begging Isaiah to sleep with her.
Oh, she glazing.
Then dude makes out of her, then yeets her into a wall and kills her. Now, as weird as this was, I think she symbolizes die-hard fans who doesn't want a new face of the league or franchise. Kinda like how Jordan fans hate LeBron because to them Jordan's the GOAT. So Harley Quinn wannabe hates Cam because she sees Isaiah as the GOAT and doesn't want anyone to replace him. And it's definitely deeply exaggerated, but it shows what a die-hard fan is willing to do for their GOAT. And I think Isaiah yeeting her like she's nothing also shows that these sports stars don't give two shits about their fans and couldn't care less whether they lived or died. Anyway, Cam is creeped the hell out while Isaiah calms him down saying it's chill and that he'll clean it up, while Isaiah's girl is like, yeah, that's pretty normal, happens all the time, then invites Cam to party with them. And now I can't upload this footage because I'm sure YouTube won't allow it, but all I can say is Isaiah's girl definitely didn't act like she was Isaiah's girlfriend. That's for sure, as the film implies they slept together and Cam cheated on his girlfriend. You slept with her?
I didn't.
Good, because she got AIDS. She'll go, hey, yo!
Damn, Isaiah, you looking hella experienced. You trying to tell us something?
Then he somehow turns it into a lecture that you will never be great at football if you're too afraid to hurt your girlfriend's feelings. Now, day 4 is pretty chill as it's just them doing some shooting together as Isaiah gaslights Cam saying he doesn't remember no lady from last night. And Cam's just like, nani? But then he says, oh yeah, that lady. Which goes back to the point that superstars don't care about their fans. Then Isaiah tries making a bet that if Cam hits the target, he'll give him anything he wants, but if he misses, then Cam has to give him his youth. But Cam's like, hell nah, no handouts. Then he jokes that if he misses, he might let Isaiah be quarterback next year instead of him, and bro doesn't look happy at all. And wait, is that mascot breathing? So it's a real person in there? So Cam just killed somebody? This film is just really weird and confusing.
Like, I get there's a lot of symbolism in this film to try to send a deeper message about like the dark side of being a professional athlete. Like, I understand that, but at the same time, listen, a shitty plot is a shitty plot, and There's just so many scenes in this film where it's just really unnecessary and boring.
Anyway, Cam's now used to putting this unknown substance in his body and works out. Then moving on to day 5, it's media day, as Cam got to pose for the cameras. And the scene's kind of funny, so Isaiah's girlfriend doesn't even acknowledge Isaiah and hugs and gets friendly with Cam, and
Oh, look at his face.
he's like, really? You gonna get friendly with another man like that and not me? Really? Then later, during an interview, Cam opens up and reveals the last thing he told his dad before he passed away was that he was done with football and feels guilty that he let him down and uses football as a way to cope and distract himself. Man, what the hell is this Last Supper wannabe looking ass shot? So what, Cam is a sacrificial lamb for the entertainment of football or some shit? Then Mrs. White Eyebrows convinces Cam to go to a party because the big league owners will be there, and if he makes a good impression, it'll obviously help his chances getting on the team. And when Cam shows up, the sports doctor talks to him acting all chill, then says, run. And this scene immediately made me think of the Get Out film where the dude tried to warn the main character to get the hell out of there because it's a setup. And honestly, it felt like they just copied this scene to try to make this film like Get Out so bad, but failed miserably. And kind of sad that Jordan Peele was a producer for this film that baited everyone to think that this film was going to be good. And it even got my hopes up, but it just didn't deliver. So Cam's confused, then White Eyebrows gives the doctor the death stare. And Cam meets the owners of the team, sharing a toast with them, and clearly there's something inside that drink, because suddenly his vision gets all blurry, and as he parties having a good time, Isaiah's girl literally kills the sports doctor that warned Cam. Then he gets roofied and passes out, and it's day 6 as he wakes up with Isaiah's blood getting injected inside him, meaning all those times he was getting injected with an unknown substance, it was Isaiah's blood. And for whatever reason, Cam can't even walk properly, but then sees an injection labeled run, which I'm assuming is from the sports doctor who tried to help him out, which gives Cam the strength to get up and confront Isaiah. And guess what Isaiah's doing? Bro's just looking at some AI generated screen of people cheering and applauding him.
Oh, he's the attention seeker.
So Isaiah explains this is a ritual passed down from generation to generation, saying Isaiah got blood from his mentor just like how Cam got blood from him, and whoever gets this blood is the chosen one and becomes the savior of the people, aka the GOAT.
Wow. This plot is stupid.
Then he continues to yap that it's a fight to the death and the winner walks out the tunnel as the next GOAT. Now, Isaiah screaming was cringe and the fight scene was extremely underwhelming. Like, the fight scene was so bad they had to put a bunch of special effects in and a shaky earthquake effect to try to make it look more interesting. Then Isaiah breaks Cam's arm, but then lets Cam get back up on his 2 feet because of plot armor. Then Cam uses a helmet to knock Isaiah's ass out to beat him thanks to plot armor again.
Wait, so this whole film, like, Isaiah's being ruthless and preaching about like how you gotta show no mercy and gotta do anything it takes to win, but at the same time, when you break Cam's arm and you clearly have a chance to easily beat him at that moment, you let him get back up to beat you? Or give him a chance to beat you? When you said you gotta be ruthless and do anything to win? Okay.
And somehow a dude that's only played football his whole life kills another man with his bare hands without any hesitation or second thought. Yup. Totally makes sense. So Isaiah's dead, and when Cam gets out the tunnel, the same owners he met at the party, including his agent, is there. And then we see some NPC cheerleaders, and this is just ridiculous.
Imagine hiring a cheerleader and telling them, look, we run a super shady like ritual that dictates the future of football, and you're gonna see all of it, but we need you to keep really quiet about it while we also pay you minimum wage.
That doesn't make any sense.
Like, having this many NPCs know about something this shady is bound to have the ritual leak to the whole world. Then we also learn White Eyebrows has been working with the owners this whole time, doing their dirty work to get Cameron to sign the contract, which I'm sure she did the same for Isaiah. But Cam doesn't sign the contract, pissing the owners off as they reveal he was groomed his whole life for this moment, as his dad already agreed with the owner that Cam will be the next GOAT. Yeah, that wrinkly old man is the team owner, and when Cam decides to kill them all instead, the owner says sign the contract or I'll kill your family, which pretty much implies they killed Cam's dad as a way to get him back into playing football. And they also admit the attack on his head at the start of the film was their doing, which was done on purpose to isolate him to ultimately get him to sign the contract. And the following scenes are so stupid, because not only do any of these billionaire owners bring a gun to a knife fight, but White Eyebrows dies because she slips and accidentally stabs herself. Like, huh? Then one by one, Cam kills the elites that groomed him, while the cheerleader NPCs are just chilling and not reacting like it's just another day at the job. And I'm not even making this up, the movie ends with some demonic force dragging Cam's agent to be sacrificed and Cam just walks away.
What was that? That's a terrible ending. Like, bro, I get that they try to have a deeper message, but overall, the plot was trash. And I guess the message they're trying to send is that sometimes walking away and rejecting a contract and still having your freedom is better than what comes with being a professional athlete. That pro athletes aren't even seen as humans and instead seen as products that are owned and controlled by the owners to be used for the owner's benefit, and the players can always be replaced. But yeah, this film has a lot of symbolism, so it's obviously open to interpretation. So if I missed out anything, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy KC. And yeah, until next time.